So anyway, I went over on my scooter and I ended up sort of travelling around Glasgow on this scooter. And I went to Kelvingrove gallery, and I'm just gonna. I took some photographs in the gallery. I made sure I was allowed to do it first. I didn't want to get thrown out. So let me just have a look at this now. So here's an image, just a figure study, and look at that delineation around the arms, and you can't even see the eye. So simply done. I thought this might sort of inspire you. You know, it's just I think it's well worth looking at these things, and especially if you're in the UK. I mean, it's all so close that you know, if you're ever in Glasgow, you can go along and have a look at these things, or Edinburgh. And there's a reason. A second reason I went is that one of my students at one time had in her possession in Ireland, like one of Cadell's paintings of his studio. He often painted his studio, what was in it, and there's a particular red chair. So he did a lot of these red chair paintings, and she had one that she picked up in an auction for some phenomenally low price, like £1 or something like that, and sold it for thousands and thousands. Anyway, so lucky. So it kind of intrigued me. So there's a nice picture of a figure. All the background's done simply. The paint is applied very, very simply, all with brushes now. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. Ooh. Oh yeah, okay, yes. A nice use of greens, and another one that's very simply executed as well. I would never think of doing clouds that simply. He's just delineated them. There's a lot of delineation going on, lines around things, and I really like that, I have to say. It kind of fits in with my my philosophy in painting, which is try not to make things too real. And so here's another one that's very, very French, and it may even be in France. I didn't get to photograph the tickets that were you know, applied beside the paintings, so you might have to just sort of take my word for some of this stuff. Here, look at that as an example of how loosely the paint is applied. If you can get that into your painting, I think it'd be well worth it. I mean, that was a very small painting, and yet the strokes, the brushwork and texture is so, you could almost say crude, but that would be sort of denying its beauty, really, and simplicity, which is an art in itself for me. So let's have a look at this painting. You can see it a little bit there. That these people were well able to you know, to paint reality. They were all doing it before they sort of went down the Impressionist path. So it wouldn't ever be fair to say that's kind of how do you say, naive. They were striving for naivety, I think. Here we go. Look, there's a close-up of the same boats, and see how much paint they've applied. I love that. It's almost gratuitously thick in places. Look at that. Look at those strokes. Obviously done with bristle brushes. You can see the striations in the strokes. Here we go. I love this one. It's very, very much in the Impressionist mould. It's a pity I can't tell you who painted which paintings. I'll be able to tell in a couple of them, but not all of them. So okay, we have a close-up here. I wanted to do a close-up of this one just to show how there's a lot of paint in some strokes and there's hardly any in other strokes. So this was painted on top of a kind of like a burnt umber wash by the looks of it. It looks kind of greyer than the one I use, which is burnt sienna, which would make it probably most likely to be burnt umber. But there are quite large parts of the canvas that aren't painted at all, apart from the wash. So that's something else to help you in your painting, is that you don't have to actually cover the painting or cover the surface if you have a wash, because the wash just comes through and does some of the work for you. Okay, so more simply applied strokes and delineations going on here. And let's go close up with this one. If you can see that, very simply low chroma painting, very little color in it. That one is a Peploe. In fact, I do remember that. That's a Peploe. And he often did these delineated figures and painting, you know, sort of around the objects in his paintings. Now we're coming to some of the other figure work. I love the simplicity of those strokes in her blouse, and even in the background behind her. Lovely. And this one's a good one too. I can't remember which of the four it was, but look at the alizarin crimson strokes, you know, the delineations around her, the ear on the left and right, and over her shoulder, and the lovely green green shadows under her nose and under her chin, which are sort of picked up in the background or are reflections of the background. But that green is a cool colour, and so are the alizarin strokes around the face there, around the head. Yeah, loosely applied paint, lovely. And this is gorgeous. You can see the amount of paint is on that figure there. Yet how vague the details are. Something that's constructed out of, it's almost like a mosaic. Lovely. More green shadows on her right cheek. And this one is my favourite. Look at that neck. Some neck she has. And it has to be deliberate. And who that figure is, or what she had achieved, or what he was trying to say, I think it's Peploe. I don't look. I mean, she looks as if she could kickstart a tractor or swim the Atlantic, doesn't she? And that is the North Sea behind her, I suppose. Would it be the North Sea or the Celtic Sea? Anyway, whatever it is, and I like that forthright look and simplicity of execution. But it's deceptive because I don't think it's simple at all. I really like that one. Look at the delineations, the dark delineations on the right-hand side. Yeah, lovely. And one eye is treated different from the other by the looks of things. One eye is one eye on the right is kind of bigger than the eye on the left. But you don't read it that way. And there's the cool colours in the shadow of the nose and at the chin. I mean, it's almost stylized and almost graphical, almost like a print or something. Really like it. That's my favourite one. And there she is up close. Okay.